the real-time communication, the speed at which I can monitor the extraterrestrial objects I send outside is faster than I can do for water bodies on Earth. We have first challenged ourselves out there internationally, nationally, won competitions, proven ourselves. Then we have established ourselves as an enterprise. So it's really important from our national security point of view, from strategic point of view, to reduce our dependence on foreign tech.
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Dendra Pradhan, who's the founder and CEO of Croatia Technologies, a company building indigenous underwater robotics that is transforming how India approaches defense, marine infrastructure, and industrial inspections. Devendra, it's wonderful to have you join us with. So let's get started.
Thank you, Shreya. Thanks for the invitation. Happy to be here.
So every deep tech startup usually begins by solving a very hard problem. Could you tell us what is the core challenge that Croatia has set out to solve, and why is it so important to build this capability in India?
Okay, so Croatia was mostly founded to address India's dependence on imported foreign tech. Underwater technology, underwater branch of robotics is something which is, I mean, a relatively difficult branch of robotics, because underwater environment is something which is very crucial to India, because India's peninsula been like surrounded by waters on all the three sides. So it's really important from our national security point of view, from strategic point of view, to reduce our dependence on foreign tech. And we did come up at a time when very less players were there in this underwater domain. So we want to build a reliable indigenous system that is designed for all kind of Indian conditions, because Indian waters are really very different from the waters that we see in TVs or in rest part of the globe. And yes, we want to give our country a greater control over strategically important technologies.
Somebody is listening about this for the first time. How would you explain it to them? What is it that you guys do? And what is the problem that you're trying to solve through the various products and platforms that you've built?
Okay, in a layman term, we design for the deep, or I can say for an environment. We design technologies to run in an environment where the speed of communication is very, very slow in comparison to the speed of communication that we're having in the air or in the on the land, in space. In all this environment, we have communication happening at the speed of light. You are sitting somewhere, I'm sitting somewhere. Within a fraction of seconds, we can connect.
Hmm.
So this thing definitely is not the case of water. So yes, so that is a technology that we're building. We're building robots to work autonomously, completely reliably, to safeguard us at a lesser speed. I mean, in an environment where the speed of communication is lesser, where response is very less. What makes us unique is our technology, which is tested in a variety of use cases, variety of conditions, in an environment which cannot be monitored. The real-time communication, the speed at which I can monitor the extraterrestrial objects I send outside is faster than I can do for water bodies on Earth. So that's the limitation in technology.
So, you've built this amazing thing, right, which works deeper under the oceans, as you mentioned. What problem or what are the potential use case that you see that this technology could solve for India, or for the globe in potential, maybe let's say 5 years down the line?
As you can see that we work with defense, that is the Indian Navy, and as well as for many PSUs, private industries, for Ministry of Water Resources, all these things. So the technology that we are building not only suffice our defense requirement, but also industrial requirements as well. In addition to safeguarding our oceans, our uh, international water boundaries, they can also safeguard and inspect, monitor find out the faults, do remote repair of our industries, other water bodies, by reducing the risk to human lives,
Okay.
uh, by bringing in newer technology to make things faster, cheaper.
You mentioned very briefly just now that your solution is already being deployed by government, Indian Navy, and few other PSUs, Indian Railways, SAIL, Tata Steel, etc. Can you talk us, Dave, how do these deployment demonstrate the broader impact of underwater group robotics technology that you've created?
Yes, definitely. So our technologies, our underwater robots, our unmanned underwater systems that we have built, the complete product or maybe a part of the product may be subsystem. So they are not just deployed for defense, but this technology can also inspect underwater part of the bridges, the pipelines, the ports, docks, dams, more industrial assets, the intercontinental underwater internet cables, underwater pipelines, underwater extractions, underwater mineral, deep sea mineral explorations. So as you can see, we talk about our government is coming up day by day with newer technological missions. Like let's say recently we have heard about blue economy. Blue economy means exploring the oceans. The recent example from the Strait of Hormuz, where Indian ships were attacked, and yeah, there was a few cases in which Indian ships were attacked, and there are also cases in which Indian vessels could safely exit and enter the Strait of Hormuz during the prime time of the war scenario. So that shows how important, uh, I mean, a stable economy
Yeah.
depends on reliable maritime routes, maritime technologies. So all these things, not only that, our in-house industries rely on water and a lot of things.
Wonderful to know that. Thank you so much. Croatia, I remember is also, one of the startup which was recognized by Nasscom Emerge 50 Awards. And I think what we wanted to, and we also read, which was very heartening to know that recently you secured a landmark around, I think, 66 crores of contract with Indian Navy under the IDEX initiative. So, looking back, what have been the defining milestones that shaped Croatia's journey from an emerging startup to actually delivering mission critical technology for the nation? If you can just walk us through a little bit of what it has taken you to kind of come here.
Sure, sure. Uh, in my opinion, every milestones that we have crossed or we have had from, let's say, early product validation, a pilot, or maybe improving or developing a newest uh, part of the technologies, any innovation, is that, I mean, or maybe let's say the recognition as one of the NASCOM Emerge 50. It was really a very happy moment for my team. In fact, for my state, Odisha, to be counted as one of the top 50 in NASCOM Emerge 50 program, or maybe the recent Indian Navy order worth 66 crore, which by far is probably the biggest order for such kind of portable unmanned underwater vehicles in the history of defense uh, right now. So all of these milestones, all of these achievements, small achievements, have reinforced our belief in indigenous innovation and belief as an enterprise that yes, we Indians can surely build for the world. So that's something I would say. And yes, the early milestones that really defined us, there are many milestones to mention, but one thing that has stayed constant throughout our journey, and one thing which I say is our ethics, with which Croatia really sticking to, is that we never settle for mediocrity. We never try to be in haste in developing and deploying our technologies. We do tremendous testing in all kind of waters, in all kind of environment, and we challenge ourselves internally within our premises before we go out there. Even if you see the journey of Croatia, I mean, we hear a lot of startups established every year with some very innovative idea. Many of them excel, many of them do a lot of good things. But one thing that we have gone, the one thing that makes us different is that we have first challenged ourselves out there internationally, nationally, won competitions, proven ourselves. Then we have established ourselves as an enterprise. Then we set out to Singapore, where we again, as students, prove ourselves and ranked second all over the world amongst many innovations that had come that year. After that, we set out to establish ourselves.
Thank you. Great to know that. Okay, so I think as we kind of come to the close of this discussion, I do want your honest take on the fact that, while India is placing a greater emphasis on strategic and indigenous technology, what does it mean for you to contribute that vision? And also, how do you see startups like yourselves, which are working on strengthening the sovereignty in these very critical areas, helping build India's technological self-reliance?
Okay. It's both a privilege and responsibility, I would say, what we are doing. So startups bring speed, innovation, and fresh thinking, which is definitely a contradicting feature to the already existing big companies, established companies, because the cost at which a startup can bring in a technology and the speed at which definitely is unmatched. So that's one thing that is a driving force behind the success of startups in Indian ecosystem at present. Also, while collaborating with government and industry to solve strategic challenges, startups also, benefit from uh, the reliability, the reliance of the present government and other people on the very grassroots innovations in our country, which definitely was not the case a few decades ago. Together, I think together we can build globally competitive technologies that reduce dependence on imports and strengthen India's technological readiness leadership. So, yes.
So I think, Deb, I have a final question for you. You're probably one of the person who's been very focusedly working in this domain for last maybe 8 to 10 years. So as we look into the future, how do you see the underwater robotics evolving over the next decade? What is the potential that this technology could bring for us as a country? And what will be some interesting things that will come forth in years to come?
No one can deny that the future is not autonomous. The future will be really very autonomous. And if you see the already established, levels in an autonomous future, you see the levels of autonomy. And I would say from the present, there are, the commonly accepted notion is that autonomy has five levels. And I would say that we been fully we haven't fully reached the autonomy level 4 yet. So the future is autonomous, AI driven underwater systems that can work much more longer, more reliable, smarter, with minimal human interventions. And beyond defense, we will see widespread adoption in offshore technologies, in our energies sectors, offshore, windmills, then offshore wave generation, wave related electricity generation, then ports, infrastructure inspections, environmental monitoring, aquaculture, disaster management and disaster responses, and deep sea explorations, then our maritime safeguarding, or maybe defense sectors, defense and offense both. So, creating entirely new opportunities for India's blue economy, uh, and also looking at maritime and other, inland. underwater infrastructures is something I would say is the future, and India is moving towards it. We should prepare ourselves to it, because if we do not prepare ourselves, our neighbors, other countries, our competitors, they are not lingering, or they are not stopping. So we need to be ahead of them. So that's the game.
Great. Thank you so much for these thoughts. And I think it was wonderful talking to you. More power to startups like yourselves who are building for India, building from here for the world and really solving these global problems. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the luck. And thanks so much for joining us today.